Hi everyone, Kim with Kim Guyman Travel here, and I'd like to talk a little bit this morning about American river cruises. I get a lot of inquiries for these, and it's always a little tricky because the price is often a lot higher than you would get in European river cruises, but the flip side of that is that your flights will be cheaper than going to Europe generally. So it can be a wash, but I think the price sometimes really kind of shocks people because they kind of assume it's going to be cheaper because they're not going to Europe. It's not. And part of that is there's something called the Jones Act that was enacted in 1920 that requires any ship on an American waterway to be built in America. So right there, your shipbuilding costs are higher. Be flagged in the U.S. and then have an all U.S. crew that is either green card holders, legal residents, or American citizens. So your wages are going to be a little higher. Anyway, there are rivers in the U.S. We don't have that same like castle-y vibe. Our rivers have been used usually for industrial purposes, but there are some really great routes. And there's two main cruise lines that sail American rivers. One is American Cruise Lines, and their ships are going to be a little smaller, sometimes about 100 passengers. And then there's Viking, actually, is in the U.S. also. And their ships are going to be sometimes 300 people, so they're going to be a little bit of a bigger ship. The rivers that you can cruise in America are the Mississippi. The mighty Mississippi is the main one. You've got the Ohio, the Columbia River in the Pacific Northwest, and the Snake River out there also. And then you've got American Cruise Lines does one that goes up the Hudson River in New York. Then you've got all these other like river cruise-esque or adjacent kind of cruises like the Great Lakes, Chesapeake Bay. There are some that will do like the Eastern Seaboard and really like get into some of those little like Cape Cod and so forth, those smaller ports. So there's other kind of, like I said, river cruise adjacent cruises you can take that'll give you that same vibe, visit lots of really cool places. I can book you on any of those. I can quote you prices or whatever, but just be aware that they're going to be a little bit more expensive. And part of the reason, one good thing about American River Cruises is that the Americans with Disabilities Act does not apply to any river cruises outside the U.S. And so if you have mobility issues or need to use a wheelchair, you're not going to be able to do it outside the U.S., but inside the U.S., the ships have to be fully ADA compliant, and as do the ports. So you're going to be able to get around a lot better if you have some mobility issues. So reach out. You can find me at kimguymantravel.com or therivercruiseagent.com, and let's talk about getting you on an American river. Have a great day.